procedure. It messed me up pretty bad this time. My neck's pretty sore and swollen. That didn't happen last time, so it's taken me a bit longer to get out here. Okay, so the engine builder said it's fine to chop this off, so that's what's going to happen. I'm going to chop that off, and I found one of these in my cupboards. I brought a long time ago, and I'm going to give it a bit of a go to cleaning up some of the stuff with that and see how well that works. Like I said, I don't know which tool will work best. A lot of these insides have already been polished, shiny. Even though I oiled it, still looks like there's a little bit of surface rust on there. It's been probably 5 days since I've been in the garage. I just wanted to do a bit. I really need to do some. I also want to work on the intake manifold. I want to do lots of stuff all at the same time. So, but first, also I want to do the leading edges. But we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go with this one. That worked well. And that's going to be a lot of work. Wonder if the cutting disc or this will be better to cut this off. Let's have a go. Oh no, the cutting disc. 100%. What I was thinking though is telling you the difference between a cast crank and a forged crank. There's a huge difference. In a cast crank, I'll try and get a picture up of it in my editing. You basically have a mold and then you pour your molten iron into it and hope that you don't get any big air bubbles. And then basically you end up with something that resembles your crank, and then you machine it to shape the journal, stuff like that. You get a pretty rough surface, and it has a lot of imperfections. Now, a forged crank is the next step up, and then of course you get a billet crank after that. But a forged crank is where they get a lump of iron, right, in the rough shape of what a crank should be, and then through a series of presses, hopefully I'll have a picture up for you, it slowly gets punched, made red hot, and punched into shape. So it doesn't just pour it so it has lots of air bubbles and it's very porous and brittle. No, you're actually forging it into shape, making it even harder. And yes, and the molecules, everything will line up better. Unlike cast, there's not a lot of strength in it. So yeah, you wouldn't be able to do a lot of horsepower with a cast crank. That's why I'm using the HO forged crank, which I was lucky to be able to obtain many years ago for this project, and now I'm finally getting to use it. So yeah, it gets stamped X amount of times until it's pretty much the right shape, and then it gets machined to as close as it needs to be for factory use. And it's a lot stronger than cast. And of course after that, I suppose you get a billet, which is basically you get a high grade steel. I get a big block of steel and put it in a CNC machine or a lathe, and you cut it out of a solid block of steel. So there is 3 different ways. There could be more, I don't know, but they're the 3 main ways of how to make a crankshaft. Forged has no problem with, 1,000 horsepower, but cast, yeah, you wouldn't want to do it with cast. In fact, the engineer told me he would have told me not to do it with a cast crank. So yeah, just thought I'd tell you the difference between a factory cast crank and a forged crank. I'm not sure why they went to forged, because they didn't up the power that much in the HO, but I'm glad they did, because I get to use it. So anyway, let's didn't last very well. Yikes. Not very long lasting. Not surprised, it's from Aldi. Where did I put the cutting disc? Did I put the cutting disc back? Did I put it away? I did put it away. Quite impressed with this. What is it? This blade. I probably had a visitor. A pair of pliers or something. This will be very hot. Yes, quite impressed with those diamond cutting discs with metal. So anyway, I'm going to round this off a bit. I don't think I'll remove all of that down this side. Maybe I'll make it the same shape as that. Should I? I could just smooth it over a bit, I guess, or make it identical to this side. So even this one has a big lump, because it's for mounting the wheel. So yeah, I'll take one more cut off here, and then I'll sand it off, nice rounded edges. Anyway, just thought I'm not going to show you the entire job because it'll take me probably a couple of days, and you're not going to watch 2 days of me fiddling around with it. Maybe I'll show you when I'm halfway and then towards the end. See you later.